Don't teach
now
your
it's
brother to suck eggs, boss. Chal na.
Chal, I wish you'd shaved and come at least.
The beard looks good, boss.
Yeah.
Professor's lost weight, by the way. Anyway,
No, I haven't.
hi everyone. Welcome
But we can
to.
only say that about one of the two of you, and that's
Okay,
it.
yeah, thanks. Hi everyone. Welcome to the Sunday Club. Now that Suhail is done fat shaming, etc., we can start the show.
You
We're
body
talking.
shamed him by saying he's lost weight. That's a
I
personal
said
issue.
he's
Do
not.
it
That's a
offline.
compliment.
The
That's a
Sunday Club people
compliment.
don't want to hear about weight issues. There are weightier issues that we have to contend with.
Oh God, help! Hi
You look
Ajay.
much better with your glasses off.
No, I took my glass off because I'm really hot. I'm a pahadi. I can't take this heat. It's too much for me.
You haven't invested in air conditioning
I'm
from all
not
the
like.
money you made?
No, I don't make any money. You know that. I'm not Bihari and Bengali and all like you all. You can take this heat.
My
It's too
God.
hot.
In addition to fat shaming, she's also now become racist.
Okay, let's start.
She's in competition with Far East and the eastern part of the country. So obviously
Every
she's
bloody month, she goes to a different destination, claims to be from there. Today, she's not Pahari because she's in Gurgaon. Tomorrow, she'll bloody go to Bengal. She'll say, I'm a Bengali. Iska to pura chakkar hi chalta rehta hai. She's a human globe. Whichever
Because
way you
of
spin it, she's there.
because of Kahani, the bongs really like me. By the way, FYI.
And not one
When I
Bengali has ever praised you to me.
went to the Calcutta Lit Fest, like they were all over me. Let me just tell you. Anyway,
Well, they should have been.
moving on. Finally, hi everyone. Welcome to the Sunday Club, and really happy to have you all with us. We're here. I think we started this off on the right emotional note because we're talking about one of the biggest breakups in recent times, and that's the one between Trump and Musk. And it's everyone expected it for there to be a breakdown, especially because both are narcissists and alpha males, and coming together and working together in such close proximity was something that people felt would not last. And here we are. So not only have they broken up, but it's a hugely public, bitter fight that's going on. It seems like JD Vance tried to come in the middle and try and broker some sort of ceasefire, no pun intended, but that didn't obviously hasn't worked till now. But let's start discussing them. So let's start with Suhail Seth. And I don't know why I'm on the Zoom screen. Can my nice intern take me off the screen? Thank you.
And as always, you're in the dark, literally.
I'm in the dark because the stupid light is. Oh.
Tell me, does anything in your house work? The lights don't work. The bloody internet doesn't work. The air conditioning doesn't work.
I mean, the air
What the
conditioning is
fuck
on.
works there? What works? So, to get back to our topic, and sorry for the minor interruption from the host, I had said this in October 2024 that this is a marriage that will not last, and I had logical reasons for saying it. Number one, power and money don't go well together because the person who's in power always believes he has control over the person who has the money. Number two, Musk is an unhinged guy, always has been, is on drugs of various kinds. See from his, marital record or the lack of marital record. See the way he's fathered children, the fights he's had with people who've had his child. So he's not a guy who's a normal kind of person. Trump used him and loved him because he served Trump a purpose. He rallied X around Trump. He gave him $250 million, and he was Trump's Rottweiler as far as the Democrats were concerned. So till then, it was all hunky-dory. Why did it go wrong? It went wrong because Trump could not have sold the United States of America to Musk, as Musk would have liked him to. B, Musk never had a friendship with Trump, and neither did Trump with Musk. Theirs was a quid pro quo relationship. It was transactional. There was nothing emotional in it. That transactional relationship ended when the transaction began to hurt Musk more than it hurt Trump. So now what you're going to see is more vendetta more vengeance, and there will never be a rapprochement. So all those Johnnies and jokers who tell you, oh, it's a fake thing and they'll make up and all, they won't. You know, there's an old doha of Kabir. Now you'll tell us you're also from the land of Kabir. Kabir said, जब गांठ बन जाती है एक रस्सी पे, so even when you open the ghat, the rassi is still taut. You know, the strains of it having been tied into a knot remain. The strains will remain, and what will happen is, oh, hello, good morning. Another on-time person has joined us. So what will happen, as you will see, is that this is going to be bloodier and bloodier. And the people who are coming today in the middle will be the ones in the crossfire. Because Trump is the kind of narcissist who seeks absolute, unencumbered, unfettered loyalty. He will even see the process of mediation or those who want to mediate as people who are questioning both his judgment and authority, which is why it will not work. And it's a dead end. By the way, it's good for the world because Musk was already pulling his weight in state capitals, in country capitals, saying that, look, I represent Donald J. Trump. That's going to end. And if you saw the April results, the May results will be out anytime now. There was a 71% decline in Tesla. In fact, there are lots of people in Europe who keep stickers on their Tesla cars saying, I bought this Tesla before Musk and Trump became friends. That is the level of damage that Elon Musk has caused his company. So the last thing that I want to say is, I'm surprised that in a country like the United States, activist shareholders have not taken Musk to task, saying that, look, you in your fight will willy-nilly destroy the company.
Okay, thank you. You know, Ajay, you are, of course, very well aware of the political hijinks game. And here Sohail has sort of said that Trump did good by engineering Musk's exit.
I didn't say any of this, but never mind.
You
have the
enjoyed
habit
it.
of putting words in my mouth. My articulation,
Oh God, this is not
enunciation,
Republican.
and pronunciation are very clear.
This is
When I need
Republican.
your advice to interpret my English, I'll rattle your cage.
Okay,
Moving
fine,
on.
fine. Okay, by the way, Kabir is from Varanasi and I'm also from UP. I'm half
sure.
UP. Yeah. Anyway,
Kabir was
Ajay,
from-
How are you from UP? You're from Uttarakhand.
no, my mother is
That-
from Kanpur.
Pallavi,
What's
you're
wrong?
late to the party.
Are you?
Other
Are
than
you?
the national flag, the only person who's pan-India, both in geography and frame, is Advaita Kala. And I'm not fat shaming at all.
Yes. He is. You are fat
Actually,
shaming.
I'm very witty, eh? Be
You
honest.
are fat, and look at you. It's not like you're Mr. I don't flex it.
But I'm not pretending to be from 27 states and 4
grumpy old
union
man.
territories, and then on the way
Grumpy
usurping
old man.
even some more from Pakistan, as you would have done. Tomorrow, if
And I've
Pakistan
lived
has a
in
nuclear scientist from, let's say, Faizabad, she'll say her parents were born in Faizabad as well. She's that kind of a person.
Actually, my link is on the other side of the border in Bangladesh.
I told you.
How are you from Bangladesh? I am originally from Bangladesh. Come on,
You're
Advaita.
originally from nowhere.
No. Hey, I
You're
got a
from
license.
You were born after 1971. Were
My
you born before 71,
ancestors
Pallavi?
come from Faridpur
Pallavi,
in
answer my question.
Bangladesh.
Were you born before
Shall we?
1971?
They were from Faridpur, Bangladesh.
Listen, were you born after 1971?
Yeah.
So then you're from West Bengal. Don't give us bullshit on this program. This is a serious
Are
program.
my
It's not
ancestors
some
are from
television news
Faridpur,
that you're anchoring
Bangladesh,
here.
yeah?
Moving on. Yes, Ajay, sorry.
Yeah,
for
my
this.
great grandfather was also from Bangladesh.
Oh,
by
shut
the
up.
way.
Yeah, who's
Why was
interested?
my
Yeah? Pucho ek
grandfather
baar.
not
True.
because I'm
It's true.
Great
Professor,
grandfather.
please, yeah. Don't get so passionate about it. It can't
My
be.
grandfather was from Bangladesh.
My great grandfather, not my grandfather, my great grand. They
Okay.
had
What was
land,
he?
a
Was
lot
he
of
a
land in
gypsy?
Bangladesh that we lost
Is
during
your
partition.
family a nomadic
But-
tribe?
Yeah. The Kalas are a nomadic tribe.
There's a Punjabi word for that. There's a Punjabi tribe. They're called Kanjars, but I'll leave that for another day. Next, moving on.
Don't
Listen,
use
by the
that,
way, I've started listening to Punjabi rap a lot. Huh? But Ajay, coming to this thing, about Sohail implying that Trump did a good job by sacking Musk. I want to ask you, Trump has a reputation for use and throw, like using people and then discarding them when he's done with it. Now, Musk entered the political fray when Trump was nearly assassinated last year, and he came in hard. And he leveraged Twitter. He donated, some say $250 million, others say $300 million to the campaign. Was very active. We saw him everywhere. Um, was really championing him, made public declarations of affection, like if there is a, I would love this man like a man can love another man, etc., etc. Now it almost feels like his utility has run out, and Trump has shown him the door. It's quite clear Trump has shown him the door. So, what do you make of this side of the argument?
See, I do not think that Sohail really made a point that Trump threw him out. It's more
Oh,
like
stop sucking up to him. It's okay.
why do I need to suck up to Sohail?
You
I would rather go date around a woman.
Let him
Anyway,
see.
let's get
You
along
answer
with it.
the question that was posed to you, okay? There's no need to.
I'm answering the question. It was just a 10-second blooper where I said, let me fix you. Anyway, so let's go beyond this. See, it was a give and take relationship, very aptly described by Sohail. Trump obviously wanted the leverages that he could through a platform, through a billionaire who supports him, who blasts through, finances his campaign, acts as an absolute Rottweiler and goes against the Democrats. So all that having been said, Musk also benefited a lot out of this association. Apparently, it is the gossip circle, which may or may not be very correct. He has been able to identify a lot of investigations which were underway, a lot of papers which could help him escape the law on various violations. As a billionaire, if having spent say 250 or $3 million, I'm able to save my skin and my business, I think it is profit. So if Mr. Trump has been able to derive benefit out of Musk, Elon has also done the same with Trump. Both were self-seeking individuals. It was a marriage of convenience, aptly understood by the entire world, demonstrated well, and has a very important lesson to be learnt. Capital and power, the moment they mix, they are a heady combination. We saw a large amount of this being played out prior to the First World War and during Germany, prior to the Second World War. The question is, if this is the way world politics is going to be dominated, look at his efforts at trying to influence the UK elections. Look at his efforts at trying to get into France and then do things there, Germany. So when capital starts deciding the political stratosphere and can rip people off basis the AI generated power that he possesses via his platform, you're looking at a very lethal combination. So at one end, when I would say that, yeah, it's a good thing that they have fallen apart, it is also a very important aspect that we should realize that is the world willing or ready to learn the lessons from this unholy marriage in the so-called oldest democracy of the world? 200 years of democracy. And what do you throw up? You throw up an alliance which actually takes people for a ride.
Yeah. Professor, coming to you, how legit is the argument that Musk is making that this big, beautiful bill is going to like blow up the economy? They're going to hit recession. It's billions of dollars in expenditure, which was what they wanted to cut back on. But Trump is actually diving into more expenditure. The work Doge is doing it really means nothing now. These are all the things that that Musk is saying. Trump, on the other hand, is saying we should get rid of Elon's subsidies, and then we'll see some kind of cut back in expenses. So, can you explain the economics of this? How is it working out?
Before I come to the economics of this, I have a different take on this Trump Musk brouhaha. Remember, Elon Musk 20 years ago would have been in the Democratic Party. It's the Democratic Party which has shifted so far to the left that a lot of Democrats, mainstream Democrats, this time shifted their loyalty to Trump. Look at this area where he made his fortune. It was PayPal, the IT sector, which is, if you look at do a random survey of the IT sector, most of the people, entrepreneurs out there, actually are supporters of the Democratic Party. Look at the fortunes he has made outside the IT sector, be it SpaceX, be it Tesla. He has been the recipient of government subsidies, 38 to 48 billion dollars of it. Okay, such a person who, if you look at the original field where he made his fortune, and one who has been a recipient of government subsidies, is generally a person who would go with the Democratic Party. Unfortunately for him, the Democratic Party shifted so far to the left that he, along with many other Democrats, found themselves supporting Donald Trump. And there's a personal tragedy involved. One of his sons basically was persuaded into taking puberty blockers, this entire woke thing. And I think he's transited to becoming a girl. The son has become a girl. So all this thing affected him personally, and that is one of the reasons he basically threw his lot behind Donald Trump. Now, if you look at Musk has a record of being a purist. If you look at the areas where he has entered, you don't enter those areas, electric cars, etc., at the time when he did, unless you believe in something. Now, where this budget is concerned, he believes that the United States is already profligate, and given this large bill, which has a massive deficit, you are again making a bad situation worse. Now, that's a conventional take. The problem is Trump has to run an administration. He has to strike deals. And some of the deals he will strike is not just with his own representatives, it's also with a lot of Democrats. So what you have is a bill which is a poke barrel. Everybody wants his interest to receive some money. And if you're into politics, you have to do this. This is not something that a person like Elon Musk, who's a purist, can take this lying down. And in that sense, I think he's being unrealistic. But what's made it worse is the parting of ways. The accusations that he has made against Trump. Why aren't the Epstein files being thrown open? It is because Trump's name is out there. That kind of exchange makes it particularly different for a reconciliation to take place. It was never a natural alliance to begin with anyway. And now with the Republicans, no Republican budget president in recent times has had a balanced budget. They've always made trade deficits worse. So Trump should have known what was coming on. If Musk believed that Trump would balance the budget, then I can sell him the Eiffel Tower. So there is some sense in what Musk is saying about the budget. But then this is the United States. They have not balanced budgets for a long, long time. So to insist that they would the budget this year itself, I think was foolish on Musk's part.
Okay. Pallavi, do you think the Trump-Musk breakup has overtaken our MP's visit to the US and everywhere else? Just to get a sense from you on, that the fact that the MPs are also back, have they achieved anything on their international visits, especially the one that went out to the US?
See, before I answer your question, there's something which, which I do pick up from way of the government sources, is that the breakdown of Trump and Musk relationship, will it have an impact on our economic relationships there? Because remember, a lot of Elon Musk's power within our government, and the fact that we gave in a license to Starlinks just a few days, I think it was just 24 hours before the official breakdown of Musk and Trump talks took place, and the leverage which Elon Musk had with our government was, and various ministries, was largely because of his proximity to Donald Trump. And it's very clear that India wants to have those trade tariffs, wants to have a good equation with America. So will it have an impact on India's deals which we've done with Elon Musk. Tesla, for example, has set up 2 companies. They are hiring people. More cars were supposed to start rolling out in September and October. Will Donald Trump, and this is even as a trade.
Chalo bhai. It had
Close
to
it.
happen. Chala. I mean,
Which, if I may say so, coming in from Donald Trump,
he
that
looks
please don't
very
do
good
too much of
frozen.
business. Can you hear me?
Go ahead, go ahead. You had
Yeah,
frozen. You
yeah.
had frozen.
Loud and
No,
clear.
that is because Bijli aa rahi hai, ja rahi na. I'm in Noida. Okay, so the thing is that so long you can hear
He's
me,
also
I'm at
from
least better
Noida.
than what
The
I'm at least
Slim
better than
fellas from
Advaita, who
Noida
did
as
an
well.
entire show last time round with a total blackout. So this is what I pick up from the government, which does put them in a little bit of a fix. Now to go
Tell
back to your
me, I want to ask
delegation,
you, which government do you pick these things up from?
the Indian
See, the
government,
wicked
Modi
people tell
government,
me you're close to the Congress and you haven't got any access to the BJP. That's what the
you
wicked people
are
say.
you are clearly meeting the wrong kind of people, which I'm not surprised. Coming back to a delegation, well, most
Woo!
of them are back except Shashi Tharoor.
Well done, Pallavi. Well done.
Bolo,
So,
bolo.
which is Shashi Tharoor is back. No, I think he's going to be back today or tomorrow. But
Listen,
you
we're
heard
not
what
interested
Ajoy.
in Sheffi's travel itinerary. What has that got
Ali,
to
she's
do with
asking me a
this
question on the
discussion?
delegation. No, but she asked me a question on the delegation.
Shashi Tharoor is
Bolo.
back. Tomorrow,
Go ahead, go ahead,
Virendra
go
will
ahead.
land in
I'm finished.
Maharashtra.
Oh, you're done.
Go
Yeah,
ahead,
I'm
come
done.
on, Auntie.
I'm very brief and to the point, and I make sense. Suhail goes on and on and on, doesn't always make sense.
That's true.
You were asked a
Ajay ji,
Anyway,
question about the
you're
impact of
muted.
these delegations. There he goes.
See, Pallavi, what is it that you think that the 7 delegations seem to have really achieved, and especially the one with Tharoor
Pallavi
being
looks very
there?
good when she's not seen. Oh, she's
Yeah,
back.
the lights are playing taunts with
Funny,
her.
funny, funny, very
But
funny.
what you really, I mean, what is the sense that the government comes up with? Because we have had a very positive press when it comes to the 7 delegations. They have been given
In
extensive.
India.
Yes, I mean, within the Indian media,
Yeah.
whether internationally they have been covered well or not, that's a debatable question. Even to the countries that they visited, whether they were given front page or even decent coverage is a different
Yeah.
question altogether. But within India, there has been a substantial coverage. A very large amount of space has been put forth to project that this is one of the most successful multi-party missions abroad ever for a foreign policy initiative. Is this the sense that you're picking up from the government as well?
But I mean, quite a lot of media in Malaysia and Latin America, there was
Malaysia.
this concern that our delegation did not make that much of traction. But I think America, Middle East, there have been write-ups.
Where
Yeah,
did
I
you read
mean,
them, please, Pallavi? Tell me. Where did you read these
I read
write-ups?
them here. There's something called online. So, I
No,
don't have to
which
go
paper?
to
Now
America
let's talk
to
Turkey.
know what's
Which
happening in
newspaper in the
America.
US has covered the delegations? Tell me.
No, they have. I won't say that they have done it
They've not.
extensively,
They've
but they
not.
They
have
have not.
mentioned.
She's
No,
talking
A couple
rubbish.
of them have.
Hey,
They've
listen,
not.
No,
when
They've
I'm one
not.
of
they
your
have.
guests on your television program who you can bullshit. And the Sunday Club people are very bright. Those chaps who are watching. So don't hoodwink them. Not one
Actually,
mainline newspaper.
I'll Google
Now,
and show it to you.
if New
Yeah,
Jersey
I'm not
Patel
saying it's
Times
going to
has
take
covered
front
it, I don't
page.
know.
I won't say it's front page, but ऐसा तो नहीं है कि they haven't covered it at all.
If in the obituary page they are covering the delegation, then kya fayda bhai?
And how's Bilawal done? Bilawal Bhutto?
He's from your part. Wasn't your grand aunt from Sindh?
Karachi, yeah.
I'm sure she has a Karachi link also.
They had land in Karachi.
She has
Yeah, but
bloody more
it
links
is,
than a
it is
necklace.
actually,
Get-
I mean, one of the biggest things. I guess one of the shows. So I actually mentioned it. Post Operation Sindoor, it just seems that we just lost the plot in the international arena. I mean, the write-ups, the coverages, the perspectives which are coming through in the international arena are very different from the narrative which is in India. Very different. And despite acknowledging all the losses and everything else, at the end of the day, it appears that Pakistan has walked away with a lot of bullshittery. It has actually told people that they are doing something against so-called terrorism, which really is a very sad part or a sad commentary on us. That
Was
we
it
are actually trying to
okay?
convince people that we are victims of terrorism emanating out of Pakistan after 1948. I mean, come on. There is
Again,
there is some gap. I don't know. I think Sohail would have a better understanding whether we have missed out the complete branding exercise. But yeah,
So let
please.
me, because I
again,
have to leave at 7:30, because unlike most of you, I'm invited out quite often. So just to address the issue, I don't think any country, any prime
Are you
minister,
in Delhi?
any armed forces could have created a better brand than they did out of Operation Sindoor. From a purely brand perspective, from a marketing perspective, I give Narendra Modi 20 on 10. It was just brilliant because it galvanized an entire nation. It said what it had to say. The problem is, I don't know why. And Ajay, you've asked a very important question. I've been saying this ad nauseum. I've said it now for the last 11 years. The Prime Minister is one of the finest orators and the finest communicators you can get. You listen to Amit Shah, he speaks brilliantly. You listen to to some of the people in the RSS, they speak brilliantly. Somewhere down the line, the transmission, which should happen at a government level, not at a political level, just kind of dissipates. And what happens is the news that is all about the negativity gets coverage. Now, we might say that Twitter is a very microscopic ecosystem. Be that as it may, there is a certain uh, irony that we need to contend with as to why we're getting our international outreach wrong. A. B. I've said this to people in government and outside. There is no point saying that you cannot, or that if New York Times writes against me, screw them. Washington Post writes, screw them. No. The best strategy for communication is to make allies out of your purported enemies. We don't do any such thing. We've got great high commissioners. I think the High Commissioner to the United Kingdom, Vikram Doraiswamy, is outstanding. He did a fantastic job with the BBC. But there are far between in terms of the communication skills. So I have solutions to offer. We all know the problems. Number one, we need to get our spokespeople, either we need to get better spokespeople or we need to get them to train. Number two, there has to be constant engagement. You cannot engage with people and hope for a relationship if you only engage with them when you are in trouble. We don't have regular engagement. We've got excellent trade and industry bodies like CII, which, if CII was tasked to do it, they would have done a superb job. We've got industrialists. Mukesh Ambani has a superb relationship across party aisles in the United States. Gautam Adani. I mean, these are the people you should be using. The Tatas, Chandra, who's the chairman of Tatas, has a superb relationship and is deeply admired and respected by people, whether it's the United Kingdom, whether it's France. You know, on the 13th, he's getting the OBE. He has enormous relationships in the US. I know for a fact, I spoke at a Time magazine event. Mark Bainoff is one of Chandra's close friends. But are we utilizing all these people? Are we getting these people to come in? I don't know. And this is something that we need to do, to my mind, if we want to change the narrative. We cannot force a narrative when we are in trouble. Relationships must not have two things. They must not have a transaction and they must not have a timestamp. The moment a relationship has that, it's not a relationship. Just fucking brilliant.
Very true. I think you do need to invest in these kind of relationships. And Professor and Ajay,
In your on
coming.
your on your part, you need to invest in
Ajeta, if I
communication.
may be permitted one more question. If I may be
Okay.
permitted one more question, Sohail, before you leave, did you see the recent write-up by Mr. Gandhi and the investigation by Indian Express published today in its paper
No,
as
what
to
did
how
Indian Express say?
They said that everything that Mr. Gandhi put out as so-called facts questioning the election commission was absolutely debunked.
Of course.
Hypocrisy, data was fudged, no correlation done. It was nothing but a piece of bullshit. Now, the
I will
kind
tell
of
you one thing. Rahul
yes,
Gandhi is an enemy of intellect. He's not only an enemy of the BJP. Anything that is intelligent is totally antithetical to Rahul Gandhi. Rahul Gandhi despises intelligence, he despises intellect, and he despises facts. When you are contending with that kind of person, you just have to throw up your hands and say, lay it on, baby, because there is no other way. You know, I've always said that Rahul Gandhi's heart may be in the right place, but his mind is like Advaita. It belongs to the whole world or it belongs to no one. It's just traveling all the time. And we really don't know. So, my whole point is that it is ridiculous for a Rahul Gandhi to go unchecked and unquestioned. But the point is, if you start questioning him, he'll play the victim card. So you're stuck between between a hard rock, uh, in that sense. So I really don't know what's
but
going to
he
happen.
just gets away. Just look at it yesterday. I mean, after the publication of the op-ed, and thereafter he goes to Bihar, he says the same thing. He's trying to reinforce the fact that election commission is an absolute sold-out institution.
But that he's always
Absolutely.
been saying. You
No, no,
see,
but
the point is, no one from the BJP asks him one simple question: please abuse the election commission, but then have the state governments that were also declared elected, which are your state governments, let them resign en masse. Let Siddaramaiah resign, saying that, look, I don't believe in India's election commission, much like my leader. So then annul all the elections. The Congress, look, if I don't believe in Ajay Kumar, then why should I quote Ajay Kumar? Why should I take recognition from Ajay Kumar? Then my logic is, I don't trust Ajay Kumar. So who's he to tell me whether I'm right or wrong, or whether I've made the right decision? But no one says that. The absence of logic is also profound within government circles. That's how it should be.
actually, there is logic in this foolishness. You see, given the fact that he's failing all the time and not winning elections he thought was his to win, what he is doing is to undermine the credibility of these institutions. That is the only way to look at it. He is quoting a lie time and time again, and members of his ecosphere also say the same thing.
Chalo bhai. God bless you. May God continue to bless our beloved country. Thank you.
Professor was being very clever, and this is what's happened. Okay, Ajay, you want to discuss Rahul Gandhi? Go ahead. You and Pallavi both love to discuss Rahul Gandhi. So over to you both.
Now, what do you think, Pallavi? What really has happened? Seriously, I
See,
could not.
I
Huh,
couldn't understand myself. 24 hours back, he was in Bihar. You
huh?
come back, and the next day, there's an article he writes on Maharashtra elections. Just think of the cadre. Unko lagega. And this is what exactly happened. Chirag Paswan, BJP, Maji, all of them jumped in. That Rahul Gandhi must have got a feedback that they're losing election. That's why he's talking about rigging and he's making excuses. This is not a very happy position and situation for the Congress cadre, which any case is down in the dumps. And the second thing is that the seat sharing talks are going to go on and are going on, and the RJD is in no mood to give too many seats to Congress. But Ajay, what is happening is that mum's the word when it comes from the RJD. The RJD was completely silent yesterday. They didn't really want to talk about or even respond to this. And I think he got his timing once again. Just before elections, you cannot say these things because suppose tomorrow, suppose the Mahagathbandhan wins in Bihar, then there's no rigging. And now if they've lost, they'll say we've rigged. And now, mind you, the EC is going to come out with all the voters list data for Haryana, for Maharashtra. And it's not the
Yes.
first time. They've given it out earlier also. And I remember I did that story that on 20 seats, when that voters list had changed, the number of voters had increased. In all those 20 seats, at least 18.
Oh God, we're really jinxed today. But Ajay, please note my internet is working perfectly.
Yeah, today you
Everyone,
seem to be getting everything right.
everything right. But here's the thing. All of this aside, accusing the election commission of not being fair and not doing its job honorably is really very, very dangerous, because what you're doing with that is you're delegitimizing the democratic
Absolutely.
process in this
That is
country.
precisely what he wants to do. He basically is failing time and time again, and therefore he thinks this is one way where his failures can be erased, delegitimize it completely. Every data that he quoted has been refuted by others time and time again, and yet he keeps on saying the same thing. But that's one part. The other part, I was watching this debate on NDTV, where the supposedly neutral observer said, in the Maharashtra election, one did not, expect this kind of reversal of fortune. Look at Karnataka in 1984. After the Congress had won 24 out of 28 seats in the 84 elections, Ramakrishna Hegde swept the assembly polls, Janata Party. Jharkhand, you have seen a reversal of fortunes.
Yes.
So what is so peculiar or what is so amazing about Maharashtra? And the kind of data that they quoted was also completely false. So this is a deliberate attempt to delegitimize institutions, to hide your own failure, to create a sense of chaos. And luckily, other opposition parties and constituents of the India alliance are not falling for it. In this regard, I think Umar Abdullah has made some very sensible statements that, your concerns start to arise the moment you lose, and whenever you win, you don't talk about it. So these are statements that have been made by other constituents of the India alliance, and that is a saving grace. That at least the bulk of the
And you're
India
right,
alliance.
Professor. Umar Abdullah said this after he won the Kashmir election. So he says, if you keep on saying this, that means even my election was rigged.
Absolutely.
So it's very uncomfortable. Only
So,
Mamata
Ajay-
Banerjee is raising this issue of bogus.
Ajay, I want to ask you, going by what Professor is saying, do you detect a split in the India alliance, the so-called India alliance? I mean, it's not together anyway, but is there like an internal sort of, we're not going to be singing from the same playbook situation happening with them?
So it has been very apparent post 2024 Lok Sabha elections. See, the Lok Sabha elections itself decimated the so-called India alliance, which in any case was an alliance suited for the association for the sole purpose of defeating the BJP. Earlier, this kind of an ecosystem used to be created to defeat the Congress, but it never materialized, even in the earlier form. Today also, it cannot see you cannot just become an anti-establishment association without any groundwork. What is the alternate that you provide? That is the bigger question. If you look at RJD, let's just talk about Bihar. RJD is not willing to give Congress more than 10 seats today. Not more than 10 seats. And if what I have been sensing, they are willing to give them only 7 to 8 seats. Imagine the kind of, and that is despite a much better performance in the last elections. It is a done fact that Tejasvi Yadav would be the chief ministerial face of the so-called India alliance. Imagine a Congress accepting this. I can understand the left front parties to accept it because obviously they do not have any face which is recognizable. But you had so many stalwarts coming out of Congress in Bihar. Today there is none. So that's the state in Bihar. Look at West Bengal. I mean, except the Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, you don't see any congressman ever saying anything. I still hold out for this guy. At least he says something. There is not a single Congress leader of repute who can even talk anything about Congress. So it's a very horrible state of affairs. What do you think is the sense that you're getting about Bengal, Pallavi? Because that is something which seems to be on a real roller coaster, with Mamata Banerjee really gunning for Modi, and the way both Modi and Amit Shah went out with blazing guns in West Bengal.
Today, Amit Shah said that Tamil Nadu and Bengal is going to be very, I think, violent, and it's going to be very interesting once again because that's one bastion which the BJP has not been able to crumble. But the point is that it's not that people don't want change; people do want change over there, and there's a large section of the people, increasingly even within my family, who say, like we need a new government, someone else. But who is the alternative? I mean, who do you vote for? I mean, the
The
BJP
BJP has not
very
yet got its
lackluster,
act together.
yeah, and very
They have not
lackluster
got its
leadership.
lackluster leadership. They haven't got its act together yet. You see, the problem also is the following. If the BJP comes to power in Bengal, it is not because Calcutta will flip, because Calcutta will not flip. The road to power in West Bengal lies actually in central South Bengal, rural Bengal, which is more amenable to change than the so-called presidency area is. The composition of the presidency area makes it extremely unlikely that the BJP will do well out there. It did well in 2019 because there was still some splitting of votes. But in 2021, it became completely polarized, and whatever votes the Congress and left had have been sucked in by the Trinamool Congress. Under those circumstances, the only road is central South Bengal, and here you have to get your organization together. In the last election, 2024, in about 30% of the booths, the BJP did not have their polling agents. And, and the fact that they won 14 seats actually, therefore, is extremely creditable. So, without an organizational structure, which is so atypical of the BJP, if you're polling that many votes, it basically tells you what is the groundswell of support. But in a state like West Bengal, without adequate organizational support and functioning, if you think you are going to beat Mamata, then you are sadly and badly mistaken.
I want to ask one question, Ajay. I want to ask you about Tej Pratap. What's happening there?
It's comedy
I
of
really
errors.
want to know.
What do you want to know? I mean, do you want to know about the sensational part that most of us cannot say anything on screen? But otherwise, yes, interesting.
So, has he split with the family completely?
No,
Is
no,
he
not
out?
at all.
Oh, he's
See,
not.
historically, if you look at Lalu Prasad's family, they are a very close knit family. And Tej Pratap is one of the most favored child of Rabri Devi. He was the first son after a couple of daughters. Happens, people go into their own zone. Lalu Prasad Yadav got fed up of him when he was a child himself, when he started misbehaving with politicians and also journalists. And his streaks are very well known. His personal life is in shambles, example of which you saw obviously on the news and everything else. But he cannot be taken away from the family. His survival depends upon his family, and Rabri Devu would never let him just go. There is no doubt rivalry within the siblings for political power. Of the nine, there are five active players in this entire game.
What are their names?
Uh, let's
Misha
just, yeah, but
and
she's
Tejaswi.
reconciled. She is a kind of a what do you call when you strike a lion and the lion is unable to recover. So that's Misha, one of the sharpest political minds within their fold. The girl who gave donated the kidney, Rohini, she's trying to come back and she's trying to make sense. She has got a very good team with herself, so she is able to do the social media prop quite well. Tejaswi and Tej Pratap obviously are there. Rabri Devi still wants to pull the strings. And let's not forget Misha's husband, who desperately wants to have a Rajya Sabha by himself. Within the family, there are lots of these. It's a typical. If you would have read or seen any of these latest series where you have lots of these royals who have been playing against each other, plotting and doing things. That's what is part of the other family today. So that's a very interesting soap opera if a family story could be made. You're mute.
And you're on mute.
I said the siblings also have camps, like different camps, different siblings, that sort of
Yeah,
situation.
yeah. I mean, it's a very open secret within the uh, even while Rabri Devi was the chief minister and these were young toddlers, or rather young boys and girls, they still had their own fan following. And even now, within the residence, they have their own corners. They chat, gossip, favoritisms, play, interplay. But at a generic level, the family is together because they know each cannot survive without the other. They're all stuck because of lots of these corruption and various other cases. So they don't have a choice.
So will he stand for an election?
See, as of now, his marital life is in question. The final hearing for the divorce was supposed to take place. The alimony sought is of a insane amount, which is being tried to be negotiated in a very polite manner. Coming out of the video and the posting of the video has complicated that aspect of it completely. And so maybe this election he may just give a pass by. He may become an MLC if he's unable to resolve by then, which may not really be the case because see, Lalu himself is in trouble. His cases are mounting, so there is a lot of pressure, and Tejasvi doesn't want to be bogged down by the family because he knows this is a make or break for RJD this time. If this elections RJD is unable to grab power by hook or by crook, consider it relegated into a very tight corner. It'll actually lose a lot of sway in Bihar.
But will this Tejasvi situation have an impact? And also, if I recall, the estranged wife is from a politically prominent family. So is that going to also cause some issues?
Not really. Tej Pratap's wife's father, I mean, his wife's grandfather was the former chief minister of Bihar. They are on an absolute losing streak. They do not influence more than one or two assembly seats. Uh, it's a bad name because obviously in a feudalistic setup, it's a bad name. But then it's a given setup. It's a given understanding that, boys are boys. They are
Oh
allowed
God.
such vagaries. So yeah, Bihar, Bengal, UP, a lot of these portions, boys are boys. So happens. छोटी मोटी
Not
चीजें
my
हो
part of UP, not my part of UP, but anyway, don't know what UP you all are talking about. But
What is your part
Pallavi,
of UP?
Pallavi, listen, yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
okay,
if
let's
Rahul
get this
Gandhi,
straight.
if
Which
Nay,
part of UP?
Advaita, you decide which you suddenly you want to be
listen,
this
if
part of
Ajay,
UP. I mean, I can't believe
Bangladesh.
Bangladesh. You found that
हाँ,
link.
I'll send you all the
कानपुर.
details. I'll
अरे
send
हाँ,
you. I'll
कानपुर तो
send you.
छोड़ो बांग्लादेश कहाँ से हो गया बांग्ला बोलते जाने ना बांग्लादेश
I
एरम थोड़ी
understand a
हुआ
little
है
bit. I know you. You said
the
you
little bit
don't
तो
know
even
how to
I
speak
understand
Punjabi.
Punjabi doesn't make me have links with Punjab ना
You say
मराठी भी मुझे समझ में आता है
have you
I
heard
don't have
of a
links to
place?
Maharashtra
Have you heard of
हाँ
a
जी.
place called Kumi in Bangladesh?
अरे
कुमिला
I
कुमिला
have you heard
That's where
कुमिला
my family's from. Okay, now
कुमिला
Pallavi, let me ask
just
Komila.
because
कुमी.
Yeah,
they've gone
Pallavi.
just they went for an
Pallavi,
overnight
listen,
journey
yeah.
doesn't make you from हाँ बोलो
Pallavi.
yeah I'm listening
If Tejasvi offers Rahul Gandhi 7 to 8 seats in Bihar, what's going to happen?
No. Congress, as of now, wants 20 to 25 seats. And that is a huge problem. First of all, they don't even have that many candidates. And they
Yeah.
really want 20 to 25 seats. And Rahul Gandhi knows this. That's the reason why he went there. He met with people. There, and the worst part is that there are many of the Congress leaders who I know want tickets, but they say that the area they want to contest from belongs to RJD. So they are very frustrated. So this alliance is also snatching many of the seats. 4 to 5 of these Congress candidates I know, they say कि वो तो RJD के पास है. So that will not get it. So there is a level of frustration. But Congress cannot afford to walk out of the Mahagathbandhan anyway. I mean, that's an alliance there. I think there is going to be a problem area, and I don't know how much the Congress will come down to. 2025 to RJD is definitely not given.
Okay, and now
And
I
there's
believe
there's a
that
reason
there have
for
been
this.
a lot of
in
Professor.
2020, the Congress demanded and got a lot of seats, and they made a hash of them because they were organizationally not prepared to
Winnability will
contest
become the
so many seats.
argument,
Yes,
na,
vulnerability.
Professor?
And they basically made a hash of things, and that was one golden chance RJD had of striking power, to reach power, and they lost that election so narrowly. And I think if they lost, the blame actually had to be taken by the Congress.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And I believe Advaitika, my glorious assistant on the Sunday Club, is telling me that there have been a lot of compliments for me today and a lot of questions. So why don't you share them?
Who?
Acha, by the way, 1 second. I think one
Hey,
common
who's AK? Yeah, AK is asking me to join me. Join me. Who's AK?
AK is me.
Advaita
So why are
Kala.
you saying add me? It's your show, yeah.
No, because I have.
He's communicating. Yeah, yeah. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Happens. Happens.
Acha, I think
Okay.
one of the things
Is
that we should
BJP
discuss.
sleeping when so many Kohli fans are opposing Congress Karnataka government as there to be blamed and not players? Why is BJP not supporting Kohli?
अरे बीजेपी is busy attacking सिद्धरामैया and DK Shiv Kumar.
Yeah.
कहाँ से कोहली आ गया?
Oh, the Virat fans are on here. Oh, that's what's happening. Okay, now I get it. That's why we have so many questions today.
Okay.
We should,
Acha,
yeah.
one thing we have to discuss is basically, this sudden development, the Canadians inviting India for the G7 summit. I think that's a remarkable thing that has happened. And it appears to have happened because, as one Canadian observer pointed out, the other G7 nations put pressure on Mark Carney to invite India. They said a G7 summit without India today does not make sense at all. And Mark Carney was forced to extend that invitation to Prime Minister Modi.
No, I saw a quote from Mark Carney where I think he's explaining to his constituency, which is probably
Yes.
the wannabe Khalistanis in
Yeah.
Canada and Brampton and all those places. And he's basically saying that, look, we need to do business with India. We want to do business with India. It's the fastest growing economy in the world.
The camera has fallen down. You're on mute also. You're on mute. You're on mute.
She's trying to fix it.
Huh.
You're on mute.
Unmute yourself.
Yep.
Huh.
So basically, he's justifying to them and saying, look, I don't have an option. They're the fastest growing economy in the world. The world wants to do business with them. We want to do business with them. We have no option but to call them. That's basically what he
Okay.
said.
Okay. By the way, it's not just the Khalistani thing. I was watching these Canadian Broadcasting Corporation programs. You see, a class of Canadian intellectuals have brought this line so badly. They've deluded themselves into thinking that there are Indian hit squads roaming all over Canada shooting Khalistanis. And as a result of which, what has happened is the following. They are actually putting pressure on Mark Carney. It's not just the Khalistanis. The Khalistanis are angry. It is also many of the intellectuals are with the Liberal Party questioning Mark Carney. And Mark Carney was, you could say, he was squirming, discomfiture in trying to justify his invitation to India. And if you look at the Canadian, the conservative leader, Pierre Poilievre, he was also talking, we have to sell them gas, we have to sell them this and that, etc., etc. This is the bind that Canadian politics have gotten themselves into. Justin Trudeau took such a hard stance on this particular issue that his successor is basically finding very hard to get out of that particular corner.
No, but I think it's that's what happens, right, in the electoral process. I get it that countries in democracies follow precedent. It's not
Yeah,
individual based; it's country based in foreign relations.
true,
So there is
true.
a certain precedent that Trudeau set in his relationship with India, but
Right.
it's not necessary for the new Prime Minister, Carney, to be so apologetic and so
You
much on
see,
the back foot,
you
unless
see,
there is
uh,
strong domestic pressure to follow a certain line, and it's not necessarily
and
political nicety.
no, look, see, I'm talking about that political pressure. This election was a great time for a reset. And if you look at his cabinet, he's got Anita Anand as his foreign secretary. So I thought it would be fairly easy for him to reset the ties. What I'm talking about is the bind that Canada has gotten into, the bind that Justin Trudeau put Canada into by taking this matter so high and making absurd claims. By the way, the mounted police, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police (RCMP), has actually backed out of many of the claims. Those claims were made by Pierre Trudeau, not so much by the RCMP. But unfortunately, it is such a bind that they find itself very difficult to get out of this. And
Okay.
if if this invitation has come in because the other G7 countries told Canada, it doesn't make sense. Because I was watching this CBC show, and one observer, Veena Najibullah, she basically made this particular point that other G7 countries actually told him a G7 meeting without India today does not make sense at all. And that is one of the reasons why he came in and basically invited Prime Minister Modi. Of course, if he is wise, he will use this as an excuse to deepen ties with India further. Now, let us see how it basically plays out.
Mhm. Let's see. Let's wait and watch. Professor, of course, is very excited that India is going to Canada. Although I have to say, I've been to Canada. It's a very drab country, Professor. Apart from the Vancouver, Whistler, that part of the country, uh,
Hmm.
maybe Toronto, maybe a little bit. But anyway, I mean, Prime Minister's going good. Let's hope they slam down on the Khalistanis, whatever is left of them. Very interestingly, Jagmeet didn't win his election, so that just
Yeah,
goes
he
to show,
lost. He
you know,
lost.
all that flexing that was going on in the last couple of years, what the reality on the ground is. So on that note, we're going to wrap this up. Thank you. Sorry, today was a little chaotic with Pallavi, with Professor's internet not working, and all of that stuff. I apologize for them. They need to get more professional. But
Uh,
other than that, I think it was a fantastic show. So thanks everyone for joining us. Professor, you were traveling this last week, and you actually met people who recognized you from the Sunday Club and took
oh,
selfies and all
yes,
of
they
that
did.
fun
Yes, they
stuff.
did. Yeah, yes, they did. It was so great. It's always nice.
Hmm.
It's happened to be a number of times now, traveling to Egypt, and then people say, aren't you,
In
hello,
Egypt,
Prof.
people were asking you in Egypt. No,
No, I was
really?
traveling to Egypt, and
Ah, to
Indians
Egypt.
on that plane, they said, Prof. And I said, yeah, you're on Sunday Club, right? And I said, oh, great. It feels great there. Really
Yeah.
feels great.
Hey, Professor, not too many people approach me, but I actually met people at the Kumbh who watched Sunday
Yeah.
Club.
Oh,
So I was pretty impressed. I said, Kumbh is like, well, it makes sense because all of humanity was there.
yeah.
But yeah, so it was quite good.
It was good. Yeah.
All right, Professor. In fact, I spoke to a young lady today, and she said, "I hope Professor's joining." So I don't know, Professor. I mean, there have been some planetary changes in the last few weeks. So who knows? You're losing weight. You're getting
Yeah.
recognized
Oh,
on in
yes.
glamorous places. So one never
Oh,
knows.
yes. Oh, yes.